friend is now critical. Cable guy from Sky Cable, servicing her, tried to rape her. Right? And the girl was now actually hospitalized. No? Please help. So what we did was we actually analyzed first. How we do it, we usually analyze the influence of the person tweeting. How many followers does he have? So he didn't have a lot of followers. So I don't know if a lot of you know about this issue. But we were working with a marketing group. But he was very intelligent because he knows he didn't have a lot of followers, but he tweeted to the different networks from GMA News to Leia to Karen Davila to MMD, among others. So it gained a lot of traction. So with Sky Cable, we said we have to respond immediately. The head of HR responded, said we're here to help, and eventually we were able to manage that issue. We actually went to the hospital, we checked on the girl, and in 3 days, the cable person who tried to rape the lady was actually captured. Right? Also using social media. So it was good in that sense that you have to learn how to use social media to your advantage, and if you don't know how to manage that, it will be to your disadvantage. And we actually set up and like I said, I was telling you earlier, when I left Macan, we were managing 40 Facebook pages, 40 Facebook and Twitter accounts. And all of them have to follow certain processes, and I'm sure you have better flow charts than what we have. But basically, we've empowered a lot of our community managers on how to respond on Facebook and Twitter. And if you push it further, if you analyze it, because I'm in the marketing arena, a lot of CRM are already asking, because today, now, because of Facebook and because of Twitter, you can literally put a picture, a face to the name, right? And everything has to boil down to eventually not just answering queries, but when you talk about CRM, you have to look at which customers you can acquire, you can grow, you can retain, or who you can win back. And we'll discuss this in the masterclass tomorrow. But basically, when you segment your customers, you are able to create very targeted marketing message towards each and every one of them. So basically, and I'll show you our final example later on, but how we're able to do that. So from every Facebook post, every tweet, we will be able to identify if they are influencers or not. We will also be able to identify, are they users or not? Or will they be, we will also identify if we've lost them already, so we categorize them. So we categorize each of them. So whenever they tweet again, we would know, this is a habitual complainer, right? So we would tag them. So then we would know how to respond to each. So your goal today again, like I said, it's all about creativity, technology, and performance. I talk about technology, but like I said, I'm not a techie. I'll show you something in action, right? And in one of my stint in Macan, I had MRM, which is a digital marketing agency. Coke came to me, and Coke was my client, and they were saying that can we systematize what we call a social call center, a social center, which we term social command, where we manage the Facebook pages, social pages of Coke here and abroad. So we tied up with Teleserve, and they have a back-end system there called Maestro. And actually, I'll show you a video of how we did this. And like I said, creativity, technology, and performance, because this was the benchmark now of Coke in Asia.
The landscape has changed. Consumers now have infinite ways of interacting with brands because of digital media, giving brands the perfect opportunity to have more meaningful interactions with its customers. With Coca-Cola's vision of liquid content via link connections, we will use the best platform to bring this vision to life. Social media. We will create stories, encourage conversations, find out what our consumers really think and feel, and use the knowledge to deepen the relationship with our consumers. We will become agents of happiness through social media, and we will achieve it through MRM's social command. It's a fresh way to engage with consumers in a proactive way by giving Coca-Cola a more active control of their social media assets. Together with Teleserve, the top multi-channel contact center services provider in the Philippines, our command center is not just managed by call center agents, but by the next generation of brand ambassadors. They will be Coca-Cola's representative to consumers, covering all brands for all aspects of the business, covering communication, company, and category, as well as incoming feedback from our consumers and non-asset channels. Let's meet the agents of happiness behind the Social Command Center. They're the team that spreads positive messages at the front line. The ones who do the listening to find the latest story. The MRM Social Command Center will launch in April 2013. Our agents of happiness are ready. And we know you are too.
So when we were interviewing for the agents here, the first question was, are you happy? Are you generally happy? Because you have to imbibe the Coke, you know. So the interviewers of these agents were actually the brand people, the marketing people. Right? And they have to feel that the agent can embody, because when they respond, it has to be, there's a Coke way, there's a brand standard. You know, and they adhere to that very strictly. And if you look at it, call was just beyond. So it's a merger of the call center, and then as a Macan that time, we were handling their Facebook pages. So it's a merger of the two processes. So on top of the call, SMS, email, Facebook, and Twitter, we have what we call social engagement, universal agents, which are what we call social engagement specialists. They're the ones handling all the responses. And we follow certain benchmarks also from your industry, so how many minutes and how many others, which is very interesting because in Facebook, if you look at social bakers, they don't look at the number of fans anymore as a success measure. One of their biggest success measure now is response time, turnaround time. How responsive is a brand when it comes to Facebook? So again, things are moving towards the customer service angle, not on just quantity anymore. We also created measurements where we look at if a tweet or a mention online, what is the size, the impact and influence, and we would know, and we will be able to alert our people if there's a brewing crisis that is heading our way. And we look at share of voice, sentiments of the brands across many things. An example was that when we were trying to experiment with this, and this was just an experiment, we saw that in a word cloud, people were typing Coke, but the next word that is most associated with Coke that time was death. So that time, our social engagement specialists were alerted already. Okay, be on standby, something is happening somewhere. Why are people researching Coke and then associating it with death? And then we ended up with someone in Australia, actually I think overdosed on Coke, drank too much Coke and died. And the news network was captured it, and people were talking about it on digital. Right? So it's around 4 or 5 days, people talk about Coke and death. But at least we know it's not going to come into the Philippines. But if it comes, and if it is discussed, and there are a lot of issues that come because Coke being a not too healthy product, right? A lot of issues on obesity, issues on so many other things would come. We would be ready, and our SES would be ready to respond to them, right? So this is just an example of how we execute it. We will see more and more of these, I think, cropping up. Basically, this was a very good exercise because it's a merger. From an agency standpoint, we are not the experts in operations, in managing a call center or a social center. We know brand, we know how to manage Facebook, we know engagement rates, but we don't know all the other metrics. So it was a good exercise where marketing and technology and you being a service provider really coming together, working hand in hand. You know? And this is actually the case now where we are trying to export this across all the Coke offices around Asia. So basically, we just have 20 minutes, so basically my question to you, and this is more to stimulate you as you go through the entire 2 days. Have we really prepared our business for them, for our next wave of consumers? And have we prepared for our companies to avoid our surprise-free fee?
My Facebook followers, because at the moment I only have 100 Twitter followers and 100 Facebook followers, so he's the man to make me popular on social media. Thank you so much, Donald Lim. And also, thank you very much to Benedict Hernandez from the Contact Center Association of the Philippines for your presentation. But of course, before anything else, you know what? From this point, from this position, gutom na yata kayo? Or would you like to continue with all our panel discussions and have a very, very late lunch at 5 p.m.? I don't think anyone will agree to that. But before we dismiss everyone for our Solving the Warranty, the movie. And I was told that many of the actors there are CEOs of contact centers here in the Philippines. Let's give them a big round of applause and their award-winning performances. You're now not anymore CEOs, but you can be actors now in Philippine movies. And all of the technologies in the video were powered by Verint and Avaya. Connectivity powered by PLDT, Alpha Enterprise, Bayan Communications, and Globe Business. We would also like to thank TELUS, Global Innovate, Divine Care, and Multi Software Asia. Thank you very much. Let's give them a big round of applause. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we will have this 1 hour, 60-minute lunch break. We will all converge here once again at the Marquee Hall at 1:30 p.m. because we will have a very interesting plenary session with distinguished speakers from the Philippines and internationally who will be sharing with us very important points on global economic trends in the contact center industry. He will also be giving us a global economic outlook. So many things are happening now around the world. There are a lot of geopolitical developments. You also have developments in the United States, in the Middle East. We will see how that could impact the contact center industry. And of course, the Philippine economic outlook. What can we expect from the Philippines in terms of economic expansion in 2013 and beyond? So ladies and gentlemen, we will now take this 1 hour break and please come back. Lunch will be served at the Mactan Ballroom. So see you once again in about 60 minutes. Thank you very much.